How's it going, everybody? It's Daikin here bringing you another Guilty Gear Strive tutorial. Sorry if my mic sound a little bit off today. My mic stand broke, so we're sort of winging it. But anyway, we're going to be talking about how to properly training room today. We're going to be going over a couple of things you should definitely be doing to actually improve your training room experience when you're actually in this mode. Now, of course, a lot of you are already going to know the first part, and that is practicing your actual combos and setups. So, of course, that's the main thing that a lot of people actually do. A lot of people already are good at doing the one player things inside of the training room, which is basically doing your combos and setups. Make sure when you actually get your hits, you know what to do and what to do after that to go for the mix up to open up your opponent once again. But we're going to be talking about some other things you should be doing inside training room. So first off, we're going to be talking about punishes. So there's a lot of things inside this game that are pretty unsafe that people aren't punishing. There's a lot of things that people do and people just aren't aware of the situations or these things being punishable. You should definitely take these things to training room if you're not sure, to see if you can actually punish these things with some of your moves and see what's the best thing you could get. You could optimize the damage from these type of things. So obviously, if we take Soul here, a lot of Souls, even without meter, would do something like this. And you would be surprised to know that something like this is actually punishable. See, punished. So you actually can get things from things like that. Taking another situation of something that you should be working on when it comes to punishes is, say, like ADP. You know, if you happen to block something like this, what is the best thing you could do? Look at see the situation and like see, can you get counter hits? What's the best combo you can get and stuff like that. So these are going to be your punishes. Look at situations, see what the most optimal or best thing you could do, and see what, you know, the risk reward is. Like, okay, there's this punish I can do, or is this punish I can do. Assess the risk versus reward for the situation regarding the amount of things that are happening in the match. For example, if they're going to die by the easier confirm, then by all means do the easier one. If you need the harder one but you're not like comfortable with it yet, then probably still do the easier one. Only do the harder one when it's like, you know, a complete drastic difference in like the damage output and it seems worth it and stuff like that. So assess what's happening inside the match and choose your option best according to the situation of who you are fighting. Now, talk about another important thing that you could be using training room for. Of course, there are round starts. Now, the way I like to practice round starts is different from other people. So I like to practice round starts by pressing the record button and the attack button at the same time. And this will make the character do something at the same time. So like this. Just like that. And then I press the record button or the playback button and my button at the same time. So I can see who will win the round start. So right here, as you can see, round start, Milia's // and Soul / will trade. Okay, I now know that. So now I'm trying to think, how would I beat this option? Okay, this is the option that I can probably do. Maybe 6P will beat it because 6P has upper body invul. What do you know? It does. And then I can get a combo and I can get a safe jump from this situation. Okay, cool. Then we were like, okay, what is another option that Soul could possibly do? And then I'm like, will 6P beat everything he does? Let's try 6P again. And what do you know? It loses to his 2S. There you go. So this will lose to this if I try to press this button, as you can see. So now I'm saying, okay, how do I beat 2S? And it's like, well, the best thing to do for this is to just simply wait it out. As you can see, it will whiff round start if he presses it. So I can punish him by doing something like this, or best possible case scenario for Milia, getting a sweet punish into knockdown. So these are a couple round start options that I will be looking for when playing Souls. Obviously, there's multiple different things he can possibly do, but this is just giving you an idea of the type of things you can do for your round starts to see exactly what your best options are. Now, of course, usually the safest option is to like backdash, but if people read your backdash with certain characters, they can definitely still punish you. So knowing proper round starts versus characters and like what you can get away with and what they can get away with is going to be crucial to understanding exactly, you know, who has the best case scenarios when it comes to the beginning of the game, because that can definitely decide the flow of the match for sure. Another thing to talk about is situations. Now, this game does have a very good training room when it comes to counter attack settings. So this is something that you'll definitely be using a lot of. There's one for many different things: after block, after they get hit, after they recover from a knockdown, There's ones what they'll do after throw breaks or after position resets, which is basically when you reset the screen. Now, these are going to be very good, especially like if you want to like characters with like DPs, if you want to know like, okay, is this truly a safe jump? This is the best way to test it right here. So especially with a character like Millia here, knowing if a character has a, you know, if I have a safe jump versus certain things, that'll be very important. So going to Soul. It's not really a safe jump, but I can avoid his DP by doing capo, as you can see. So this is very good for me to know. Now, this may not work on every character with a DP, so of course you're going to want to test it on every character that you're actually fighting against. So this is one of the options that you're going to have to be looking for. So once again, situations. So looking at situations that may come up during your setups or situations, this is an offensive situation for yourself versus your opponent's defensive options. There's also the opposite of what you should be doing. What you should be doing defensively versus certain situations. So if we look at another example that I have here. So a lot of souls like to do this right here. This button is +2, so it is very good. And if he gets close enough, he can actually get his close last for some reason sometimes too. But a lot of people should know that this pressure actually isn't real. So why it is plus, he can't technically do this into each other because it just isn't fast enough. So you can definitely see what buttons you can press to stop this from happening. Now, obviously, once again, assess the risk reward for the situation and choose the best option you think is best for that, because obviously he could go into heavy slash and get a big counter hit punish on you. So it is a very scary situation to be in, but you should definitely know your options and the best options you have in that type of situation, right? So these are things you should be looking for. Another one of these scenarios would be something like this. So this is a very common block string by Soul. Something like this in the Gunflame, and it's pretty tight, right? And you can't really jump out of it. But you know, if you're looking for solutions for stuff like this, not all solutions are going to come easy. Some solutions you got to get pretty creative. So this is a solution for something like this against Soul, and I guess this is a little bit of a Soul god, I guess. You can do things like this. FD a certain hit, and this will allow you to create enough space to jump, and you can actually dash over there and get a punish. It's a little bit hard, but as you see, it's definitely possible. So it is something that you can actively do. And these are type of situations when they come up and you don't know what to do, you should take the training room and see if there's options. Not all the options are going to be easy, or not all the options are going to be meterless, but there are going to be options you could do to optimize your punishes to make sure that you discourage your opponent from doing these things again. That way you can have the advantage next time you fight the opponent, or you just feel more comfortable in the matchups overall. And I guess really the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to actually using the training room is just properly using the actual slots here. As you can see, I was rotating slots of different situations I already had pre-set up, so you guys can see certain things that I wanted to talk about. And these slots are very important because these will allow you to actually train your eye to see certain things, right? So you can put certain things on different slots and then actually manipulate the slots according to what you want to do with the record settings. And you can make it start immediately with a slight delay, start late. You can disable things. You can make it to where certain things have higher probability than others. And pretty much you can rotate these. These will help you defensively, because if you want to basically record the opponent doing something, and then you want to practice defending against it and put it on random with a certain amount of situations, this will allow you to like basically simulate what an opponent will do and rotate those options so you could try to better defend the versus. So this is something that's going to be very, very important when it comes to actually helping your defense out. I mean, we could go on forever about like certain specific things that this training room actually has. Like you can practice, you know, counter hit confirms with the random counter hits, or practice like certain confirms after they guard the first couple of hits and then you actually land a hit, or just certain situations with throw clash, recovery, wall break, stagger recoveries, or even burst situations. So you can make it to where when will they burst after a certain amount of hits, and you can see, can you actually punish during this? Can you punish a burst during the situation? Maybe you do dust and you want to see if you could do a dust combo in the air after the first hit. They'll try to burst immediately after dust. You can practice things like that with the auto burst feature and stuff. There's so many things you can practice with this training room outside of your basic combos and setups. So definitely try to use training room proficiently. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got for this tutorial. Like I said, I just wanted to tell you guys exactly, you know, how good this training room actually is and how to properly pretty much use it. As always, if you found this video useful, drop me a like, I greatly appreciate it. And if you want to hear more from me, follow my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Daikin, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.